You won't believe what Jesus wrote in the sand. The truth will shock you. They dragged her through the dirt, their fists clenched and voices raised. A woman, trembling, ashamed, caught in the act of adultery. The crowd wasn't here for justice. They wanted blood. Stones weighed heavy in their hands, and the law of Moses echoed in their minds. But then Jesus stooped. He didn't shout. He didn't argue. He didn't pick up a stone. Instead, he knelt and began writing on the ground. This moment, recorded in the New Testament, John 8:1-11, has intrigued believers, scholars, and skeptics alike. What did Jesus write on the ground? Why didn't he speak first? Could those few mysterious words in the dust have shifted history? Let's dive into this mystery and uncover a truth that just might shock you. The scene. Adultery in the Bible. According to Jewish law, adultery in the Bible was punishable by death, usually stoning. The woman had no defense. Her accusers were zealous religious leaders eager to trap Jesus into breaking the law. If he condemned her, he'd lose his reputation for mercy. If he spared her, they'd accuse him of defying Scripture. So instead, Jesus wrote on the ground. Some say he was buying time. Others believe it was a prophetic act. But here's where the story deepens, because Jesus writing on the ground isn't just a passive move. It may have carried divine weight. What did Jesus write on the ground? We're never told exactly what the writing said, which makes it all the more fascinating. Many scholars propose that Jesus wrote down the sins of the accusers, perhaps names and secret transgressions. The Greek word used in John 8:6 is katagraphian, which can mean to write against. Imagine standing there, ready to cast judgment, and Jesus, the Son of God, is listing your darkest secrets in the sand. No wonder one by one the accusers left, beginning with the oldest. John 8:9. Some believe Jesus was fulfilling a prophecy from Jeremiah 17:13. Those who turn away from you will be written in the dust because they have forsaken the Lord. In that case, what Jesus wrote on the earth was more than symbolic. It was a declaration of divine authority, a calling out of hypocrisy written not in ink, but in dirt. Why writing in the sand matters? Think of it, the eternal Word made flesh, writing with his finger on the ground. It's not the first time God wrote with his finger. He did it on stone tablets with the 10 Commandments, Exodus 31:18. But now he writes in sand. Why? Because this wasn't about hard law. It was about grace. In this powerful moment, Jesus writing on the ground explained a deeper truth, that mercy triumphs over judgment. The dust may symbolize humanity's frailty. From dust you are, and to dust you shall return. But in this dust, Jesus offered a new kind of justice. The power of silence. It's worth noting that Jesus didn't jump to defend the woman. He didn't launch into a sermon. His silence and slow, deliberate writing in the sand speak volumes. He let conviction do its work. He didn't condemn, but he didn't excuse sin either. After all the accusers had vanished, he finally spoke. "Neither do I condemn you. Go now and leave your life of sin." It was a moment of truth and transformation. No shouting, no punishment. Just mercy and a call to change. Why this still matters today, the question, what did Jesus write on the ground, remains unanswered in a literal sense. But maybe that's the point. Maybe the message wasn't for history to record, but for hearts to remember. Maybe the writing in the sand wasn't just words, but grace itself. We've all stood where that woman stood, guilty, exposed, fearful. And yet Jesus doesn't rush to condemn. He kneels beside us and maybe, just maybe, writes our sins in the sand, where they can be blown away by the wind of mercy. Final thought. So, what did Jesus write on the ground? We may never know the exact words, but we know this. It was powerful, enough to silence a mob, save a life, and leave a legacy of grace. That dusty finger movement wasn't random. It was the hand of God rewriting the rules, not erasing the law, but fulfilling it with compassion and that changes everything.